My gran will not use a mobile phone. She wraps her card, I kid you not, in silver foil because she's concerned around contactless payments. If we do enter a world where you go into a Sainsbury's or wherever and it is QR code or an automatic payment over open banking, fantastic for me. My gran's not going to be able to do that. So how do we implement open banking, which is designed to be good for consumers, without leaving certain groups of people behind? Because for me, it's great, but my gran, not so much. Panel, over to you.
I don't know if you can look them up, but OneBanks is exactly designed for your gran. So OneBanks is all about taking vulnerable customers that are being literally left in the dark, and actually enable them through facilities in villages, communities, shops, to enable your gran to use open banking, but with their help and their aid in terms of a kiosk situation. I really genuinely think, we should admire startups like OneBanks, and there'll be others. I mean, they're not going to be the only one, but I definitely have to call out OneBanks. So your gran isn't going to be left behind.
Digital adoption is going up. So while I do admit that open banking, at least the initial version of open banking would have slightly disadvantaged some people who are not digitally savvy. But I think that is changing, and we have seen that post-pandemic, where I guess a lot of people were in some sense forced to adopt some of these digital tools because of our needs around being touchless and contactless and all of that. So I think that generation who you are talking about is also starting to adopt open banking or equivalent digital channels to fulfill their day-to-day needs. And I agree with Samantha. OneBanks is a fantastic example of something which brings together, which is a physical manifestation in some sense of open banking.
Whilst open banking is developing that sort of system, I think it's really important that the users of open banking, and by users I'm talking about the organizations that utilize the functionality of open banking, to then take those propositions to the customers, really understand what it means for example, for your gran, for a variety of different types of people in terms of different positions and vulnerable, etc., to make sure that those propositions actually fit the needs of those end users. I think open banking itself enables payments to be made in a sort of in a new digital way, but the end propositions are absolutely key. And we as the PSR, as we look at the work that we're doing, which is working with payment systems and the payment system users, is to make sure that when those things are being developed, whether it's a consumer protection proposition, whether it's a direct PISP type proposition, that the end user and all end users are really kept sort of at front of mind.
I don't think these things are exclusive, right? They coexist, and I think open banking as a payment method sits alongside cards, just as contactless. I live in Northampton, right? We've had contactless for 15 years ish. It's only really kind of taken off in the last 5 years. If back in the midst of time when you went to a quick service restaurant in London, that's all you do. You've never handed over cash for a couple of years, right? But it wasn't always like that. It takes time to reach that point, and they coexist up until the point we've got adoption.
Going back to the familiarity, I think one of the things that the retailers should be celebrating is the NHS app, which is training everyone to use QR codes. I mean, I literally said to my husband when we were able to go out, not that long ago, a few months ago now, but when we went in, you scan your NHS app to get into the restaurant. And then I said, now I just need my bill to have the QR code to do open banking payments to pay them as I go out. So scan to get in, scan to get out. I mean, simple.